Hello, good day, and I'll be explaining Chapter 4 Presentation, Analysis, and Interpretation of Data in, and how it was computed. We'll start off with SOP number 1. Do respondents follow the personal protective equipment standards in terms of completeness? Questionnaire number 1. Welding mask, goggles. The equivalent percentage for the frequency of those who answered yes is 100% and 0% for those who answered no. So how did we get the percentage from the frequency? We simply divided it from the overall respondents that we have, which is 20. For example, we have 10 respondents who answered yes, and we divide that to 20, which is 0.5, and we'll multiply that by 100 to get the percentage, which is 50%. Question number 2, respirators. 14 respondents answered yes, which equivalents to 70%, and 6 respondents answered no, which equivalents to 30%. Question number 3, fire, flame resistant clothing and aprons or overalls. 20 respondents answered yes, which equivalents to 100%, and 0 respondents answered no. Next up, we have question number 4, ear muff, earplugs. 13 respondents answered yes, which equivalents to 65%, and 7 respondents answered no, which equivalents to 35%. And finally, we have question number 5, boots or gloves. 19 respondents answered yes, which equivalents to 95%, and 1 respondent answered no, which equivalents to 5%. Now, let's move on to overall analysis for SOP number 1. In order to get the overall analysis for each answer, we added all the percentage for each question, as shown here, and we divided the total by 5 and multiply it by 100 to get the percent. For the answer yes, we start off by adding all these percentage for each questionnaire. For question number 1, which is 100, question number 2, which is 70, question number 3 is 100, question number 4 is 65, question number 5 is 95%, which totals to 430%, and we divide it by 5, we get 0.86, multiply it by 100 to get the percentage, which is 86%. For the answer no, we get question number 1, which is 0, question number 2, which is 30, question number 3 is 0, question number 4 is 35, question number 5 is 5, which totals to 70%, and we divide that by 5 and multiply it by 100, which is 14%. And now we'll move on to SOP number 2. Do respondents follow the personal protective equipment standards in terms of maintenance? Question number 1. I always check the glass for any cracks and stains, and I also check the strap of the welding mask, goggles for any loose threads before and after use. And for here, 17 respondents answered yes, which equivalents to 85%. 3 respondents answered no, which equivalents to 15%, which totals to 100%. Question number 2. I always check my respirators before and after use. 14 respondents answered yes, which equivalents to 70%. And 6 respondents answered no, which equivalents to 30%, which totals to 100. Question number 3. I always clean and check my overalls or cracks after use. 20 respondents answered yes, which equivalents to 100% of the respondents, and 0 respondents answered no, which equivalents to 0. After that, we have question number 4. I always check the gloves if there's any holes or cracks after use. 18 respondents answered yes, which equivalents to 90% of the respondents, and 2 respondents answered no, which equivalents to 10%, which totals to 100%. And finally, we have question number 5. I always clean my earplugs after use. 16 respondents answered yes, which equivalents to 80%, and 4 respondents answered no, which equivalents to 20%. Now we move on to the overall analysis for SOP number 2. The computation is still the same as the last time for the SOP number 1, and I'll explain it again. We added all the overall percentage for each answer as shown here, and we divided it by 5 and multiply it by 100 to get the percentage. For the answer yes, we added all the percentage of each in each question, like as shown here. Question number 1 is 85, question number 2 is 70, question number 3 is 100, question number 4 is 90, question number 5 is 80, which totals to 425%. And we divide that to 5 and multiply it by 100 to get the percent, and we get 85%. And next, for the answer no, the question number 1 is 15, question number 2 is 30, question number 3 is 0, question number 4 is 10, question number 5 is 20, which totals to 75%, and we divide that to 5, then multiply it by 100, then we get 15%. And that wraps up the explanation on Chapter 4, Presentation, Analysis, and Interpretation of Data, and how we computed it on Excel. Thank you.